Hi everyone, today I'll be talking about checking your Lightspeed barcodes before importing them into Shopify. So the reason that we should be doing this specifically with Lightspeed migrations is because Lightspeed will add what they call check digits to their barcodes. So the data that they're exporting from their CSV files does not actually match what your barcodes will scan in as. So they have a whole algorithm where they will add additional digits and change the number a little bit, change it from what you're seeing on the export at least. And then we just have to make sure that we are importing the data with the conversion done if needed. This is not needed every single time, but right now what I'll walk you through is how we can check if you do need to use the converter, and if we do need to use the converter, how do we use it? So the first thing that we will start with is taking a look at our Lightspeed example datasheet here. So this is how it looks like coming out of the Lightspeed system. There may be slight differences depending on what you have chosen to use with the Lightspeed system. But one consistent thing that you'll see is the system ID here, and you'll see your item names with any kind of matrix or other data that you will have in their system. But what I'll focus on is the system ID, because this is actually related to the barcode that is printed. So what we want to check is this system ID here, does it match what we would actually see on the sticker itself that we have printed with Lightspeed? The way that we should be doing that is we could take any example product, and let's just say I went to my shelf and I grabbed one of these Gabby dresses over here that I highlighted over here. So I grabbed this Gabby dress. What I'll do is I'll check if the tag on the Gabby dress scans in as exactly these numbers. So I'll just stop and pause here for a second. How do we check if these are the numbers that actually scan in with that particular product once I have that sticker in front of me? Well, the process is to use some kind of tool to scan that item. So there's two options that I will mention here. The first is downloading the Shopify point of sale on your iPad or any device, any mobile device, I should say. This is the app right here. So I've just logged in. Now, even if you don't have your store set up yet, there is a function here where we can use the back-facing camera to scan the item, and the system will tell you what has been scanned in. It won't actually find an item because you haven't imported it yet, but it will still say an error where it will say, hey, we haven't found an item with barcode 1234567 8 kind of thing. So to do that, you'll download the app, Shopify point of sale app from the App Store. You'll log in, open it up, and you'll see this screen, and there's this barcode button right at the top, right beside the search bar, which I am kind of selecting and deselecting. As you can see there, it's kind of blinking in and out. If we press on that button, it will take us to the back-facing camera. Now, this is just a simulation, so it's not actually showing anything, but at this point, you would point the camera at the barcode, and the screen will tell you what it has read at that point. And then we can compare it against what we had seen on the example data sheet that we were looking at before. So that's a way to check if it matches or not. Once you check one, you'll see what has been scanned in, and it will either match exactly or one of two things can happen. What Lightspeed will do is it will take your system ID and, again, sometimes remove some characters and add what they call a check digit at the end. And sometimes it is either 8 or 12 characters long. So you'll know after scanning that example. And so if it is different than the system ID here, what we'll need to do is transform these system IDs into the proper barcode. Now, they actually have formalized it, and we've kind of played around with it enough to figure out what we need to do with it. And so there's two options here. So this is the Lightspeed barcode generator. This is a file that is available for you to use. You can just ask your launch specialist or launch engineer to give you a link to this. So what you'll want to do is take this file, and you will have to make a copy before we are able to use it. So we'll just go to File, make a copy, and just go ahead and do that. Now the way that this works is it's built all on formulas, and this A column over here, what you can do after you make a copy is just take that whole column. I'll keep the headers here so that we know what we're looking at. I can just erase that whole column and paste in my data instead in this A column over here. So I'm going to go back into my sheet. Again, I don't need that header over there, so I can deselect that. Just select your whole system ID column all the way up and down. And then I'll just do a copy function there, so Control C, Command C. And then I'll just paste that into the first empty cell here on the A column. And if I hit Control V or Command V, what will happen here is the data will enter into this column, and then the barcode for Shopify will show up. So this should match what you had scanned before. In this case, this is the converter for 8-digit generators. So if we did that test scan with that one item, and it turned out to be an 8-digit barcode, then this is the tab we need to use. There's a similar tab over here that works exactly the same way, but for 12-digit barcodes. So if you scanned in that test item and it was actually 12 digits, this is the one that you'll use instead. And again, you just want to paste your data in here, and you can cross-reference it again just to double check that it was accurate towards what you had scanned in there. So that would be the process of getting the actual barcodes for your Shopify store. At that point, as you're converting your data sheet into the Shopify format, this is what you'll put in the barcode field on our Shopify CSVs. So, you know, there's multiple tools that we have out there to help you compose that CSV file. And no matter what path you end up choosing, whenever you see that barcode field, you'll want to use these converted barcodes from this converter generator here, because that is actually matching what is printed on your stickers, and that will allow you to continue using the stickers that you have on your existing products and continue using the same barcodes that are coming over from Lightspeed. So I hope that is helpful. One thing that I forgot to mention as we were doing the test scan is if you don't feel like downloading the point of sale app on your iPad right now, just to use the method that I had showed you, there is a free app out there called Barcode to PC that you can download on any phone. And this will require no login or anything like that. It's kind of the quick and dirty option for you to just download a lightweight app that doesn't have a lot of setup, and it will turn, again, your phone camera or iPad camera into a scanner and just tell you what actually scans once you point it at a barcode label. So yeah, I hope that's helpful, and best of luck.